Welcome to my spoiler review of Marvel's Black Widow. The film's in phase 4 after a great start, so let's open it up. The film opens on prologue in Ohio in the year 1995, and the font size of the title cards is already telling me that this entry is already going to have some similarities between the second and third Captain America movies in style and tone. It's also one of my favorite standalone films in the series, I'm okay with that. Turns out Natasha Romanoff knew another one like her as a child, adoptive sister named Yelena Belova. Their father, played by David Harbour, also became a story, and it's actually like how he gave the crew advice to help differentiate his role in the upcoming final season of Stranger Things from this. His name's Alexei, better known as the Red Guardian. One night, they're forced to flee the country, eluding authorities to Don McLean's American Pie. Friend does make it out in single-engine plane, but their adoptive mother, Melina, is killed upon their arrival in Cuba. That also caps up a pretty impressive opening escape scene that leads to our opening credits. The cover Smells Like Teen Spirit by Malia J. and Think Up Anger is also quite haunting. This opening sequence showing Natasha's training continues of Hannah Marvel, making the credits as interesting to watch as the movies I'm part of. I also really enjoy Lauren Balfe's score in this film. Editors Matthew Schmidt and Leigh Folsom Boyd do a great job with visual presentation along with cinematographer Gabriel Beristan. And the film takes place between the events of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. Features director Kate Shortland making her debut in the series. I also noticed that alumni both of WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier are involved with this movie, and this would have come out first before everything happened. Anyway, we rejoin Natasha 21 years later, played by Scarlett Johansson, who seemingly hasn't aged since she first took the part. I know this is technically spoiled for the endgame, but it's almost like she's become the Soul Stone. She nearly eludes Secretary Ross, played again by William Hurt, to make good on what she said before. She has red in her ledger and she needs to wipe it out. Cut to Morocco, where now grown up Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, has grown into another widow, was on assignment with a fellow agent played Olga Korylenko. The ensuing action scene is effective as Yelena takes out the target, but not before she's dosed with the red mist of pheromones, which is the plot point. And the other agent named Ingrid informs Superior Dreykov, played by Winstone, as she activates a protocol of a taskmaster. This is an antagonist that may not be the most well known, but still one of my favorites. Though somewhat successful with how this film would hate the character, I think this version works in its own way, and we'll get to that. Back when Natasha was hiding out in Norway, getting help for contact, she met a previous encounter, her named Mason, and who, as it turns out, is also condensed into X-Men, and she met during her time in Budapest. Taskmaster has also found Natasha's hiding spot, and this fight in the bridge really tense already. Film's action tone heavily influenced by future Terminator 2, Judgment Day, both films I love immensely. Shaw escapes into the river underneath the bridge, taking a roll of money out of the Constance Taskmaster's briefcase with her to Budapest. Well, there's one half of that exchange when the Avengers paid off. Now that just leaves the Hawkeye series later this year. Upon entering her old apartment, she meets back with Yelena for the first time in years. The repartee shows they haven't forgotten each other after all this time. The fight in the kitchen also shows I haven't lost their step at all since I last met. Realizing they both in this together, the two form an uneasy truce to find out what's going on, just as they had to blast away out of the apartment, ensuing chase and nose down scene for motorcycles and cars after Ingrid's brain is fried by Dreykov. The car crashed into a subway terminal, but the Taskmaster and other spies in the red room are on their tail. Natasha also recounts earlier her mission from before she joined S.H.I.E.L.D., in which she was assigned to level a building to take out a target. But someone named Antonia Masters was caught in a crossfire. Again, we'll come back to this later. Right now, but Natasha and Yelena need to leave the city and plan the next move, but not before a little in-joke with her fighting stance. I always did before back and forth dialogues, just to one-liners. Natasha and Yelena realize they need to find more of their colleagues from the past. They must finish what they started in the Red Room. The meeting with Natasha's contact at Mason, the two secure a chopper to break an old friend out of prison. Alexei Shostakov, better known as Red Guardian. Apparently, one of whose arm missing in the Google log is also connected to the X-Men. Who knew? Alexei gets a package containing letters and a Red Guardian figurines. It actually contains a listening device, and this starts a prison break scene. The action sequence all as impressive at home as it was in theaters. I'm liking Natasha's snow outfit in this sequence. This variation is actually in the comic as well, or it would make sense to have a suit specifically meant for these kind of missions. As if this gunfight with the guards wasn't enough, an avalanche occurs during Lexi's extraction. They're able to get their comrade out under the cover of snow, just almost up made with an old colleague, who turns out is alive. The Iron Maiden Melina, played with the very lovely Rachel Wise. This also reveals that Yelena and Natasha never knew their real parents, at least it didn't seem before their mission. The Hypes wanted to cut, but it thankfully stayed in, and is a key scene before the finale. Now, Dreykov's forces surrounded the compound, and while the Taskmaster has found them, it turns out this is actually what they needed to find the Red Room. Melina has also factored this in, as their capture had to look convincing. The Red Room, where the other agents are trained, has been set up ever since the Age of Ultron, is in fact a massive flying base where Dreykov and the others have operated. Always like a later part of the story, can actually improve the previous ones. Both Melina and Natasha managed to switch places with a disguise I was using with Soldier, and Melina must help bring down this compound with Yelena and Alexei. However, Dreykov is pheromone that prevents Natasha or any other widows from attacking him. Solution? Give herself a nosebleed so she can't smell the pheromones. This actually makes a weird kind of sense. The way the scene is framed tells me this isn't the first time she had to do this either. Dreykov planned for this too, as it turns out this version of Taskmaster is Antonia all along. She not only survived the attack, but was conditioned and experimented on by Dreykov to carry out his bidding. This is a twist that many weren't happy with. However, I submit it works a different way that suggests that Taskmaster is a title rather than one person, and given this movie and the upcoming Hawkeye series, it presents an interesting take on this character while still leaving room for Anthony to show up. Taskmaster's fight with the Red Guardian still signature is seen either way. Yelena and Melina also play a great part in bringing down the Red Room, as Dreykov reveals he has agents playing all around the world. Another plot point that connects this movie to Falcon and Winter Soldier. The ship starts going down, thanks to Natasha breaking the nerve and Dreykov's kill switch. Melina shooting the engine with a grenade launcher. Dreykov tries to escape, leading to a fight Natasha's former comrades, which appears pretty all things considered. Had no idea how much I missed that after last year's dry spell. Once again, sometimes it's simple things you enjoy. Yelena unleashes more of the red mist in Dreykov's office, snapping the agents out of their trance. Natasha tells the other widows to evacuate, and the Red Room starts coming down. The destruction being almost as large as the helicarriers in Winter Soldier. I feel like this bit with Melina trying to fly the plane through the falling debris, when Natasha's midair, her fight with the Taskmaster. Yelena shoves a weapon in the rotors of Dreykov's chopper, killing him what remains of his guards. The fight continues till they all reach the ground, and this last engagement with Natasha and Taskmaster is probably my favorite part of the film. Natasha wins with one last dose of the red mist, finally snapping Antonia out of her trance. From reconciles, Natasha slips away after changing into her Infinity War appearance, setting the stage for Yelena to take up her mantle. I am more than okay with that. We close in 2 weeks after the events have transpired, Natasha meeting her contact Mason one more time, bequeathing a Quinjet to her as she takes off to the Avengers fanfare. We also get a stinger beyond that paying her respects, along with a contact named Valentina. We even get a stuff for the Hawkeye series in November. It's been a while since Spider-Man Far From Home, and I gotta say, even after all this time and all this happened, this film is well worth the wait. Glad I wasn't one of the first ones I saw when more venues started opening back up. To the date, this film has made over $183 million in the US and $379 million worldwide, even becoming this year's highest grossing film until it surpassed Marvel's own Shang-Chi. We'll talk more about that after it streams in November. That even helped settle this residual lawsuit, and even though I wasn't actively following that, I'm glad that's not only been resolved, but there is room for both legacy business models and new ones in the cinematic landscape. Whatever lies ahead in the next in Phase 4 and 5, I look forward to it. For now, this is easily my favorite standalone film in the series since Winter Soldier, and I'd be willing to watch it many more times in the remainder of this year alone. See you all in November for my spoiler review of Shang-Chi Legend of Ten Rings. Later.